Hey, it's Jamie Scrimger. When I became a stepmom, I quickly realized that while moms are encouraged to keep it real, there's a big double standard when it comes to stepmoms. So I decided to start the conversation myself. Thriving as a stepmom doesn't just come from conversations about being a stepmom, though. Here we dive into marriage, relationships, personal growth, and more. My mission? Inspire you to live a kick-ass life while bringing you along as I create my own. This is the Kick-Ass Stepmom Podcast. Hello. Welcome to the show, guys. It has been a bit since I have done a solo episode, but that is what we are doing today. And let's just say a little prayer because I am recording this. We have 1.5 more weeks until the kids go back to school. My daughter has a friend over, and I made them promise that they are going to be super quiet. I've had to tell them the same thing about 4 times now. So we shall see how this goes. I have to tell you, I'm so excited for back to school. I'm excited for routine. And I'm excited to have the house to myself all the time because I am socialized out. I'm peopled out. We've had a very busy summer, lots going on, and it's been amazing. But I am ready to spend the day by myself, right? Darren goes to work, kids go to school. I do my thing, and everyone is happy. So, like I said, today we are doing a Q&A from questions submitted over on Instagram. Before I dive in, I have to tell you, after taking a break from recording episodes over the summer, I am really excited to get back. I have a little podcast studio that I have been working on. It's actually in the corner of my stepdaughter's room. She is in university, so she very, very rarely sleeps here. So I have a bit of a podcast set up in her room, trying to figure the tech out, and we're going to have it's just going to look so much more professional. So I'm pumped for that. And on that note, though, I have a bit of a favor to ask you. So if you haven't already, I would be so grateful if you could leave a rating and a review on either iTunes or Spotify. This is literally the best way to support the show. Allows us to get great guests. It helps us grow. And you know what? If you have someone in your world that would benefit from listening to the show, be sure to send it their way. And lastly, I want to know who is listening. So who is listening? Where are you listening from? What are you doing? Are you walking on the treadmill? Are you in the car? I would love to see you share it out on Instagram and tag me so that we can connect through our DMs. Kind of my favorite thing to do. So, all right, that is that. To the questions. What is your favorite non-step parenting podcast that you listen to? Well, honestly, I don't listen to any step parenting podcasts. I actually don't do any step parenting resources unless it's researching for podcast episodes or something in Kick-Ass Stepmom, my membership. So this is a super easy question. Right now, my favorite podcasts are probably Not Alone by Valeria. Her last name starts with L. She is such a great creator, and I really love her podcast topics and just how she goes deep with all of her guests. I love the Melissa Wood Health podcast. I will listen to The Blonde Files by Ariel Laurel, Kristen Cavallari's podcast, and I am a die-hard Dateline podcast listener. Like, I've listened to every single episode, some more than once, and it's like my favorite thing to do. So I do need to say, though, on the note of not listening to or consuming step parenting resources, I really don't feel like I need them. And none of them have ever really resonated with me. You guys probably know my story. When I first became a stepmom, I was on the bathroom floor. I was crying. I was looking for support online, and I just was really overwhelmed with the amount of negative support for stepmoms. And it just didn't resonate with me, which is why I started this platform in the first place. But the other piece is that I've done a lot of work on myself, and I've done a lot of work on my family and my marriage and my mindset. And my intention really is to get all stepmoms in my world and in my coaching programs, just to the point where you are so confident in yourself and how you're showing up and your family and your relationships that you're not relying on blogs and podcasts and coaching programs to feel in control of your life. I love when stepmoms in my programs get to the point where they're like, you know what, Jamie, like I feel so good. I feel so empowered. I feel so in control. I don't feel like I need this anymore. Like that actually is my goal. I want you to have the tools in your toolbox to feel like You don't need to be consuming all of this step parenting content. And I know it seems a little weird for me to be saying this because this is what I do, but that is my goal for you. So my framework for stepmoms, it is a tool that you can come back to and that I come back to as stepmom life evolves and new stressors arrive. Like there's different seasons in your step family life. And when people join my program, they have access to this framework that they can return to again and again as their step family life evolves and new stressors come. So basically you have all the tools in your toolbox so that when shit hits the fan, you know what to do. Right, next question. I want to do coaching and invest in personal development, but I can't afford it. Okay. I don't want this to sound the wrong way or come off the wrong way, but I do feel like I need to just say this because I think some people need to hear it. And there's been a time in my life when I needed to hear it. And I don't want to make any assumptions about anyone's experience or financial position because we are really living in an expensive time right now. I was actually just talking to my coach last night. She is from Australia. And we were just talking about how expensive things are in Canada. And I think North America too. But wow, like Canada especially, things are outrageous. It is outrageous. However, I really want to challenge this mindset that people have on, I can't afford it. Is it that you can't afford it or that you don't want to prioritize it? You really want to do something, you're going to invest in it. You're going to find a way to make it work. So the question is this about affording it or is it about whether or not you are willing to prioritize it? So what's in your Amazon cart right now? Are you buying coffee every single day? Like this is one thing, if you are tight, if you are trying to, or if there's things you want to do and you feel like you can't afford it and you're buying coffee every single day, well, your priorities are off. Have you ate out lately? Have you spruced up your wardrobe? Like how much did your recent pair of jeans cost you? Like where is your money going? I do believe that when you invest in yourself and when you invest in coaching or personal development, like you get these tools and these shifts and they stay with you forever. So it is such a great investment. It changes your life. And I have posted this before where I've said something like, yes, coaching with me is expensive, or yes, coaching is expensive, but you're investing in a transformation. And you want to know what's also expensive? A divorce, a retainer for a lawyer. It's very expensive. Constantly being in conflict with the ex and having legal battles or a super uncomfortable vibe in your home. That's expensive in its own way. Or living a life that's completely unhappy and unfulfilled. Very expensive. Raising children in an intense environment with lots of conflict. Very expensive, right? All expensive in a different way. So when it comes to investing in coaching and investing in programs, whether it be with me or someone else that really resonates with you, it is about investing in the type of person that you want to be. That being said, like I said, things are super freaking expensive right now. So there are also a lot of podcasts and books and free resources. And, you know, at the time of this recording, you can join Kick-Ass Stepmom, my membership for $22 a month, which, by the way, if you go to Starbucks 5 times this month, you are going to be spending more than that on drinks. So is it that you are not able to afford it or you are choosing not to prioritize it? You know, I'm a huge lover of Element. It is my go-to electrolyte drink and a longtime sponsor of the podcast. So yes, Element is a tasty electrolyte drink with everything you need and nothing you don't. That means lots of salt and no sugar, no artificial ingredients, no coloring, no BS. It is formulated to help anyone with their electrolyte needs and is perfectly suited if you're following a keto, a low carb, or a paleo diet. I just did the metabolic reset, which I've shared about on the podcast, and it was totally okay on that as well. Basically, if you're a professional athlete or you're just an everyday mom, it is for you. Element is a huge part of my day-to-day, whether it be rehydrating during workouts, when I'm traveling, after maybe a little too much wine, in my cocktails and my mocktails. Like I am always popping the Element salt into my drinks. 100 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, 60 milligrams of magnesium. I have one every day. Seriously though, about the cocktails, throw in some lime Element salt with soda, tequila, lime, and mint. It is so delicious. So staying hydrated is a crucial and huge priority of mine. And proper hydration isn't just about drinking water. It means having adequate water and salt. And big news, Element just introduced Element Sparkling. So again, no sugar, there's no caffeine in this, all electrolytes. Element Sparkling delivers the same zero sugar electrolyte formulation that I have been telling you guys about, now in a bold 16-ounce can of sparkling water. I couldn't have got better news. This is so exciting. I am such a fan of Element. Already put it in my soda water. So this is just, wow, this just made my life so much easier. Element Sparkling offers health seekers an all-new option to support their health across the board spectrum of occasions. So with each can, you're taking a sip against sugar and stimulant-loaded drinks, and you're turning the tide towards health. I am so pumped for this. To grab some Element, head to www.drinklmnt.com/kickassstepmom and get a free sample pack with any drink mix purchase. That's just the drink mix purchase. I love these free sample packs because it just gives you a chance to try all the flavors and decide which one is your fave. Mine is watermelon. Darren loves lime. Head to www.drinkelement.com/kickassstepmom to get a free sample pack with a purchase of a drink mix and keep your eye out for the new Element Sparkling. Seriously, cannot wait. On and off, I have been sharing about some of the lifestyle changes that I have made in the past year. I've been trying to minimize stress, lose some of the fluff, have a healthier lifestyle, balance my nervous system, while still being able to enjoy the good things in life. I just wanted to feel better. And so a couple of years ago, I actually made the commitment. I said, I want to go into my 40s feeling my absolute freaking best. And, I still have a year and a bit to go, but I am slowly and sustainably introducing new habits into my life. I'm feeling so good. Metabolic Balance program with Jen Vasey has been a huge game changer for me in meeting this goal. So for the longest time, it didn't matter how healthy I ate, what I did, how I moved my body, nothing was working, and I wasn't feeling good about myself. So when my girlfriend told me about Metabolic Balance for balancing hormones and sustainable weight loss, I was all in. So I have followed the program since fall 2023, and I feel great. It is all about eating for your unique body. So you get your blood tested, and then you are given a food list with foods that work best for your body. And wow, when you are eating for your unique body type, it is crazy how much better you feel. I've had a lot of success. My family members have had a lot of success. There's stepmoms in the community who have tried it and had a lot of success. So many women are seeing game-changing results with this program. And you guys know me, when I find something that I love, I just want to share it with all of you. So when Jen came on the podcast a while back to talk about the program, which we will link in the show notes for you, she gave a code for listeners. So if you want to give this program a try, if you want to create some change in your life, you can use the code KICKASSSTEPMOM or just tell her that I sent you during your first call, and she's going to give you $100 off the investment. So that is Jen Vasey. She is a holistic nutritionist and Canada's #1 metabolic coach. She is unreal. You work with her to get a customized nutrition plan for simplified weight loss and hormonal balance. To learn more about Jen and the program, head to www.jen.rhn.com or look up Jen the RHN on Instagram. Again, this is hands down the best investment I have made in myself and my health. www.jen.rhn.com and use the code KICKASSSTEPMOM for $100 off. Next question, how's being a stepmom going? Well, you know what? We're just in a super weird season. And I am at this point where I no longer feel consumed with being a stepmom. Like my life is not defined by stepmotherhood and my role as a stepmom, because my youngest stepson, he's 17 years old. This summer, he lived up at our cottage with my stepdaughter. They both have jobs up there. So they haven't been like in our actual home for the summer. My other stepson, he is 20 years old. He has an apartment of his own now, which is really great because it's been great for our relationship and for my marriage and for everyone to just have a little bit of space, because sometimes that is the best thing for improving relationships. But for the longest time, my life was about all the things the kids needed and parenting and co-parenting, supporting my husband and navigating legal battles. And in this new season of life, I'm not consumed by that anymore. Like a lot of the time, it's just Darren, Reese, and I. And it is sad. And I miss a lot of the things we used to do together. The summer was hard because we didn't have a lot of cottage time together. They had jobs and it was hard for them to get the time off and for us all to have that time together. But on the flip side, it's like I can finally fully breathe. I'm in this space of life where there doesn't feel like there's much stress when it comes to having to do with being a stepmom and our stepfamily dynamic. And when we do have stress, it really rolls off my back because I'm at the point where I understand and I know that this is just a season. Everything eventually works itself out. And the only thing that happens when you're trying to control something is that you make it worse and more stressful than it needs to be. So I've really just surrendered to it. So yeah, everyone is good. Everything is okay. And, I feel like I should point out that I could sit here and list 10 different things that I could really stress out about right now. I could be worried about, or I could be triggered about. I could feel resentful about. But getting to this point isn't just about the kids getting older, because if you have older stepkids, there's those stressors as well. But I've got to the point where I don't sweat the small stuff. And we have obviously the strategies in place so that any of that extra stress, we have perspective and tools, and it's just not consuming us anymore. All right. I am losing myself and becoming a frump girl. I'm 38. What can I do to get myself back? Okay. This resonates with me so much. And okay, how do I say this? You know what? I know this is going to offend some people, and it's kind of like a sorry, not sorry. This is how I feel. So I am not one of those people who's going to be like, you know what? Embrace your body where it's at, embrace the changes, accept it. If you are not happy right now with how you feel or how you're showing up, let's make some change. Okay. And I am speaking from experience here. I'm going to be 39 in November. And I think when I was about 37, I was not feeling my best. In my body, I was not feeling good, not feeling confident. Clothes weren't fitting the way I wanted them to fit. I just did not feel good. And even right now, I'm not even close to where I want to be in terms of tone and how I feel. I'm actually on a bit of a health journey, if you will. And, someone said to me, they're like, well, that's what it's like getting older. You're going to feel different. Your body's going to change. And yeah, okay. But I don't think it has to be like that. So last year, I made a commitment to myself that I'm going to feel my best going into my 40th year. Like when I'm 40, my goal, so in a year and like a couple months, I want to feel like I am freaking killing it. I want to feel so confident and happy with how I look and how I'm showing up and all the things. So in the meantime, I have been making changes. And I think it really does come down to, are you willing to do what it takes to feel different? Think about the type of person that you want to be. Think about how you want to feel. What daily habits is that person doing? And you got to start doing them and you got to commit. So I have a few tips that I wrote down for you. If you want to feel better, don't do frumpy and don't do sloppy. Again, probably going to piss some people off, but I firmly believe this. Even when you're in your comfy clothes or your athleisure, make a point to feel like you got dressed and you pulled yourself together for the day. You don't have to wear makeup every day, but throw on some tinted moisturizer and maybe a little concealer to just look in the mirror and be like, yeah, like I feel put together. You are going to feel so much better if you get ready, if you do your hair, you can get cute clothes on that make you feel good. It doesn't have to cost a lot. And just take the time to pull yourself together. I think it really affects how you show up in all areas. Okay, number 2, a morning routine that works for you. And I'm saying works for you, underline, bold. It has to work for you and the season that you're in right now. So if you have a newborn baby or if you have kids who are like up at 5 o'clock in the morning, maybe your morning routine isn't waking up half an hour before the kids. Like you have to be realistic, but within reason, try to get up before the house. Try to set your intentions for the day, whether it's through a journal or your organizer. Get a workout in every day. Move your body. Like a good, solid morning routine can really make all of the difference in the world. Like how you start your day is key. And again, I want to say this. It has to work for you. So not what someone online does, not what the morning miracle says you have to do. You have to feel excited about your morning routine. Like I love going to bed because I'm just so pumped to wake up in the morning and do my thing. Okay, number 3, make your bed and clean your space. A cluttered house equals a cluttered mind. 4, ask yourself, who do you want to be? How does the best version of you show up? And then again, what daily habits do that person do to achieve that and start showing up as that person? The last thing I want to say is if you're really looking to create some change in how you feel and in your body, I did the Metabolic Balance Program with Jen Vasey. She was on the podcast. We will tag or link her episode. This program is all about balancing hormones, losing weight, getting more energy, minimizing stress, and it really changed my life. So you basically get your blood tested, and it's about eating foods that work for your body. I have lost personally about 15 to 20 pounds on it. I have a girlfriend who lost 45 and is like keeping it off. It is crazy. It is life-changing. It resets your metabolism, and I cannot recommend this program enough. It is definitely an investment, and depending on your diet before, it can be a bit restrictive. But eating clean and for your body type will make you feel so much better. And there's so much power in getting to the place where you're like, I don't want to feel this way anymore, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to create that change. Now, I will say, going back to the restrictive thing, I did have someone who listened to this podcast who did the program, and she got her food list and she was like, oh my gosh, my food list is really restrictive. And she said something like, well, there isn't any pasta on it. There isn't any bread on it. So if you think you're going to like invest in this program and get a food list where you're like having nachos and chips and dip, you're definitely going to feel like it's restrictive. But anyway, I feel great. I will link the program below. And if you do end up reaching out to Jen, tell her that I sent you, or you can use the code KICKASSSTEPMOM and you can get a discount. All right, how do you keep your home tidy with kids? I have 3 and I'm constantly struggling. Look, girl, you and me both, and every mom is struggling to keep their home clean. My home is not always tidy. I'm looking at my desk right now and it's feeling a bit cluttered. I do strive for it, but there are times when it gets messy. And when it gets messy, you got to clean it up. And I think when you have a house full of people, it's just kind of the way it is. And it's not always going to be clean. Like I am constantly tidying up. Now, personally, to an extent, I don't really worry about the kids' rooms. I've let that one go. It wasn't worth the battle, and it was just causing me more stress, like whatever. When they do get out of control, I ask them to get it back under control, but I truly do focus on my bedroom, the laundry room, the kitchen, and our main living space. And seriously, I'm not as organized and tidy as I want to be, and it's this constant work in progress. But I do know that when I have too much stuff, or things aren't being put away, it's just so hard to keep things tidy. So purge, purge, purge. This is really a priority for me this year. I want to just keep getting more and more organized. Here are a few tips that actually work really well for me. I like to keep my closet, well, when I'm trying to get organized at this very moment, my closet is a bit of a show, but I like to get totes and get rid of clothes that are not my best, right? If I don't feel good in them, if I don't feel confident in them, they got to go. And then if I'm kind of on the fence, I put them in a tote, put them in the storage closet, and then I can revisit it the next season. Also, focus on one junk drawer at a time. Constantly try to take one little space and organize it and keep it clean. Always clean the kitchen before bed. There's nothing worse than waking up to a sink full of dishes, and understand that is going to be an ongoing thing. I love to throw in a meditation or a podcast and just give her and clean. And I will say, full disclosure, we do have a house cleaner who comes once a week and does a full clean. And this is a really good investment for us and our family. We find it worth it. And it's just a great reset for the family home. All right, next one. If a situation upsets you with the kids and you don't feel composed, what do you do? Okay. I never want anyone to think that I am always composed or we have it all together over here all the time. There have definitely been times when I've lost it, not shown up as my best. I'm pretty good about apologizing and just moving forward. But to be totally straight, my middle stepson and I have got into it hard. Like there are times when my husband had came home, like him and I are fighting, and I had to go to my husband and be like, you gotta help me out here. I don't even know how to manage this, because I didn't respond in the best way. He didn't respond in the best way, and things got out of control. We are human beings. This is a stressful situation. Sometimes you snap. I want you to know that that's okay, okay? Don't beat yourself up about it. But it's about how you reflect on that situation that makes the biggest difference. It's about your bounce back rate. So you don't want to sit around and be pissed off for days and not be able to move forward from it, holding grudges. Like, you need to process, you need to apologize, own your part, and move forward. Like, the bounce back rate is a big thing. Okay, guys, I absolutely love sharing products that I am obsessed with. And one of the big things that I am all about when I'm working with a brand is that I'm not going to share anything that I wouldn't share with my best friends. And I've been telling all of my friends about Osea. So I was using Osea skincare for a while there, and then I ran out and I didn't place an order to renew it. And then life just happened. And so I didn't have it for a few months. And then I was looking at my skin. I'm like, what is going on? I really noticed the difference. My skin was just blah. So I just restocked on the body butter, the algae body oil, and the collagen boosting moisturizer. And my legs and my body are thanking me for it. So specifically the collagen body lotion, it's ultra hydrating, it is lightweight, and scientifically proven to visibly firm skin in just 4 hours. No joke, it does. And when I hydrate, I just really want my skin to feel dewy and moisturized and firm and soft. And it does all of that stuff. Packed with clinically proven ingredients, including vegan collagen, hyaluronic acid to deliver lasting hydration and radiant and revitalized skin, Osea is literally the best. And the body butter and the oils, it's just like such a treat for your skin. In fact, I just add the Salts of the Sea body scrub and the body polish to my cart. Used to have them, didn't restock, and it's just such a great way to exfoliate your skin. Just get your skin prepped for summer, because we're about to go into bathing suit season and I want my skin to look good, dewy, and moisturized. So if that feels aligned for you, I recommend going to oseamalibu.com and using the code KICKASSStepmom10 for 10% off your first order. That's www.oseamalibu.com and use the code KICKASSStepmom10 for 10% off your order. For 27 years, Osea has been on a mission to create clean, seaweed-infused skincare that respects the natural world and makes skin look and feel its absolute best. And I don't know about you, but whenever I'm trying to find clean skincare, I often feel like I have to sacrifice the effects. Like, it doesn't work that well. Osea, it's not like that. Today, it's called Clean Beauty, but Osea has been doing this since the beginning. Their products have been infused with seaweed because it's rich in vitamins, minerals, and nutrients, and have endless benefits from the ocean. Again, you have to go check out all of the amazing products on their site. I listed a few of my faves, but there are so many. From skincare to hair products to body scrubs, there are so many amazing products to choose from. Osea really does have you covered for clean, vegan, and cruelty-free skincare products. So go to oseamalibu.com and use the code KICKASSStepmom10 for 10% off your first order. How do you keep a relationship with your stepkids once they move out? I don't know, check in via texts, ask if they need anything. I really love to send the kids TikToks that relate to them. But I would say if you're not talking as much, or you're not hearing from them as much, I would not overthink it. Just keep it natural, take your cues from them. Like, I can go weeks without talking to one of my stepkids now because they're kind of living on their own and doing their own thing. And, I don't make some big story up that, oh my God, they hate me. They don't want to be around me. We have a terrible relationship. I just kind of reach out, ask how things are going. And yeah, so don't put a lot of pressure on yourself about it. But I do really find sending the TikToks and just kind of checking in can be really helpful. And we also try to schedule family dinners whenever we can. But at this point, we are definitely not concerned about our week on, week off schedule. Like, the kids can kind of decide what works for them. What is your current status with the ex? Oh my gosh, I don't think I have talked to her in months. I actually shared a little bit about this inside the chat room of Kick-Ass Stepmoms, my membership. And I think she actually blocked me. I don't think I did anything, but I'm pretty sure she blocked me. I had reached out through a text and it's normally says delivered and blue, and she was green. But whatever, I respect that. Everyone has to do what they feel like they need to do to whatever. And yeah, but my stepson is playing hockey this year, so I'm sure there will be more run-ins. And We've had a relationship where there's ebbs and flows, and there's been times when we're really great, when we've had wine, and there's times when we just don't even really speak. But at this point, there's not a lot of things to talk about when it comes to co-parenting and stuff. So, yeah, TBD. How do you handle if the ex won't pay for anything? Okay, this is hard and it used to cause me so much stress. I think you need to stop expecting anything different. We just did it. We have always made sure the kids have what they need. We used to spend a lot of time fighting over expenses. There was a whole big email thread about a volleyball, splitting the volleyballs, like just little things. And there's just so many arguments. And we just kind of got to the point where we're like, you know what? The kids are going to look back on their childhood. They're going to know who was there. They're going to know who's showing up. And they're not going to look back on like financial arguments between their parents. Like it is just not worth it for us. So we literally pay for every single thing. It's not fair and it's frustrating. And at times I felt really resentful about it or felt like it's really unfair in terms of the distribution of responsibilities. But at the end of the day, like you have to ask yourself, how do you want to show up for the kids? Does it really matter? And if it does really matter, if it's putting you in a really bad financial situation, like everyone is in a different position, you got to document everything up. You can contact a lawyer. You can request it through documents, through the lawyers. You can go to Fro. Like there's lots of different options. But yeah, it is super frustrating. That's just kind of how we've handled it. Was it hard for you to attend sporting events for your stepkids when their mom was there? Sometimes it is awkward. Yeah, it is awkward for sure. There were definitely times when it was awkward. But here's the thing. Show up, look cute, don't read into it, smile, be kind, be the bigger person, do whatever you can to make it not awkward for the kids. And if you feel overwhelmed, go to the bathroom, sit on the toilet, and text your friends. And also remember, you do not need to be at every single event. If you want to opt out of a few, go for it. You're still a great stepmom. You're still supportive. Like you don't need to be at every single thing. How do you reconnect with yourself and get your sparkle back when you are in the trenches? Well, I think it's important to have realistic expectations during really stressful times. And if you're in the crux of a legal battle or court or extra stress, you probably aren't walking around with a sparkle in your eye. Like you are just surviving. You don't have a huge bandwidth right now, and you really need to pour into your personal development practices. So what are you doing to take care of you? Like this is when the routines matter the most. Okay. So working out, walking, getting outside, journaling, mindset work, understanding your triggers. Like I have a 3-part series called Improve Your Stepmom Mindset that can help you really understand like what is going on, the trigger beneath the trigger, and help you revamp your mindset around your stepfamily stress if you feel like you're struggling. So I can link that in the show notes below. But things in your stepfamily life probably won't change. And that's something that I've really tried to make sure stepmoms understand. Like the issues that you're dealing with at the very beginning are probably in some way, shape, or form going to be the issues that you're dealing with 10 years from now. People aren't going to change unless they want to change. But when you decide to do the work on yourself and your mindset and your personal growth, understanding your triggers and managing your reactions, things won't affect you the way that they are now or have in the past. Do you ever worry about wedding and babies of your stepkids, and how do you handle this situation? You know what? Okay, wedding, I'm going to say this. And we were actually having this conversation with my stepdaughter when she was up at the cottage a couple weeks ago. It is her day. It is her celebration. It is not about me. It is not about her parents. It is not about us. One of my parents pulled some ridiculous stuff at our wedding, and it was all about their experience and all about their ego and what they wanted. And it caused a lot of extra stress on that day that should have been super special. The BS and the drama around it was next level, and it really took out a lot of our joy. And we want our stepkids or my stepkids' wedding day to be whatever they want, whatever they feel comfortable with, and whatever they feel happy with. So would I feel super sad if I wasn't invited wedding dress shopping? Yeah, totally. I would love to go wedding dress shopping with my stepdaughter. But if she's super anxious about the awkwardness between her and her mom, or her mom and I during that day, I do not want that to be her experience. I want her to be so all about her during this time, because that's what it's about. Would I love to get up and have a speech? And do I dream of what I would want to say? Absolutely. And The thing is, if they don't want that, it's their choice, and I'm not going to let it ruin my day or their day or make it a big thing. Now, one thing we have talked about is that I would love a name for grandkids to call me. It doesn't have to be grandma, but I don't want it to be just Jamie. Now, again, if the kids are hardcore against that, I would be fine, but that's definitely a conversation we've had with the kids, and they were like, yeah, absolutely. I would love to hear more about the what is fair, unfair philosophy that you have and how the kids feel about it. Okay, I think you're referring to how I say sometimes fair isn't always equal. And basically, when our daughter Reese was born, I was very clear that she was not going to be living her life on a week on, week off schedule, like according to when my stepkids were with us. So they've gone on trips with their mom, and Reese doesn't get to go with them. And there have been a few times when Reese gets to go away with us and they don't get to come because they're with their mom. And we've just been really open, like it is what it is. And I think when it comes to having blended families, sometimes things are going to be unfair. And you have to talk to kids about it. Like, this is just the way it is. Yes, we try our best for everyone to be treated the same and have access to the same things based on the stage that they're at. But naturally, Reese is getting more from us because she is with us more. And she's also being raised at a time when we're just in a completely different financial position than we were when the kids were younger. So she gets more opportunities. So sometimes fair isn't equal. But we do try to be mindful, but it's not always going to be the same. Like, we're not putting our life on hold to make sure my stepkids are always here every time we do something, because that would just be crazy. Did you do back to school shopping with your stepkids? Yes, I did. Their mom it's not a huge thing for their mom. I really love doing back to school shopping. Actually, probably like it more than they do. So I lucked out with that. How do you handle different meals and likes and dislikes in the kids? So I would meal plan according to the kids' likes. I would ask them for the requests at the beginning of the week. And when they were with us, it was really kid-friendly meals. And if they didn't like it, they could have cereal. I would never take it personally. I don't take mealtime stuff personally. It is not worth my time and energy. It's just a non-issue for me. And, now that my stepson is 17, sometimes he's here for dinner. Sometimes he's not. He's kind of off doing his own thing. And if we're making something now, because, all the kids are out of the house and he doesn't like it, I'm like, just grab a sub on the way home. I really don't care. Has life gotten easier since not having to deal with BM as much? So birth mom, the kid's mom. Yeah, way easier. Again, we've also done a lot of work and put systems and boundaries and mindset shifts in place so that things don't trigger us anymore. You said you got elective surgery. Are you willing to share? You know what? Sure. Why not? I got a boob lift. It was something I was super self-conscious about my whole life. I always felt like I had saggy boobs and it bugged me. A boy said it to me even in grade 7 on the playground, and I never got it out of my head. And I know I should have, but I really just needed to get rid of the saggy baggies. So I did a boob lift. And to be totally honest, I kind of wish I went in and did the full boob job, like some tiny implants or a fat transfer, but I decided not to. But I am not against doing that in the future. Alrighty, let's wrap her up at the boob job question. And thank you so much for listening. That is it for this one. And I'll chat with you next week. That's it for this one. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if this episode resonated with you, I'd be so grateful if you could share it with someone in your life who you think could benefit from it. And if you haven't already left a rating and a review on iTunes, it really is the best way to support the show. And if you're craving more real talk and coaching and community, be sure to check out my membership, the Kick-Ass Stepmom community. Head to www.kickassstepmom.com to learn more.